Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 7 of Conti and Nick. I am Will Nicholson, and usually with me is Gino Conti. We had recorded an intro, but while I was editing this episode, I realized that the file was corrupted, so I have to do the intro really quick by myself, unfortunately. But in this episode, we talk about the NBA playoffs and our predictions. And it's a really entertaining episode. I hope you guys enjoy. I think it probably is the most entertaining episode that we've done so far. A lot of fun takes, a lot of bold predictions, I have to say. But yeah, overall, it's very entertaining, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so we're going to start with some NBA playoff predictions right now. The way we're going to do it, we're going to start with the East, and we're going to do first round of the East, then we're going to move over to the West, do the first round of the West,
So
second
on,
round,
so forth.
yeah, so on and so forth. You guys will catch on pretty easily to what we're doing. So we're going to start at the very top of the bracket in the East with Philly and Washington. The first game, this is a 1-0 series already, but this first game was actually a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be. But I think this is going to be pretty straight up for Philly. I think it's going to be a sweep here. I don't think that Washington is going to steal a game. I think it's no one can really guard Joel Embiid on the floor. So in this one, I have Philly in 4.
So you have the sweep. I have the gentleman's sweep. I want to give a little bit more credit to Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal and Rui Hachimura and Ish Smith. And Ish
Gino's
Smith.
favorite.
Hey, listen, the little pit bull, the bulldog, Ish Smith. Don't sleep on that man, okay? So anyways, I want to give a little bit more credit to those guys. I think that ever since I saw them fight their ass off the other day, I think they definitely deserve to at least be given one win by me and by like all the fans. I think they earned that. I mean, I think definitely if your biggest problem is Tobias Harris scoring on you and not Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Josh Richardson.
I forgot he had 33, right, the other day?
He had 37.
37.
But what I'm actually trying to get at is if Tobias Harris is the leading scorer, then you're actually doing your job. Because that means Joel and Ben Simmons, I wouldn't say are being neutralized because by no means were they. But they definitely were not the biggest factor. So if you're able to shut those two down, and if Tobias Harris can beat you, tip your cap. Tip your cap because you did your job. You took away those two best players. And for that reason, I think they're going to take a game. But yes, Philly is going to win this series without a doubt in 5 games.
Yeah, it's pretty straight up. I don't think anyone really has it going past 5 or 6 games. So we'll move down. We have New York and Atlanta, which we actually watched right here last night. We saw Trey hit that game winner. And I'm very excited for this series because these are both like very even teams. I feel like New York is like your classic Tibbs team where it's grit and grind, play great defense, and Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, he's got his guys there, right? But Atlanta is like this new, like the new Steph Curry pretty much with Trae Young trying to embrace that type of play style. And this was a great game last night. I had a lot of fun watching it, and I hope that we get more of it. And I think that every game, hopefully, is going to be as competitive as it was last night. But I'm going to take Atlanta in 6 or 7 here. I'd love to go 7, but I can see it going 6.
So this is really conflicting for me because I don't know if you remember in episode 3, I said that if we're going to trade a first round pick, we as in the Celtics, I want them to trade for either Tom Thibodeau or Nate McMillan. And here we go. God damn it. Like, the seeding couldn't have gone any other way. That way, one of them has to go in the first round. What kind of bull crap is that? Okay? It is ridiculous. I don't know why the NBA insists on doing this to me. Okay? They're doing this on purpose just to get on my damn nerves. Okay? And I don't appreciate that, Adam Silver. Okay? But anyways, I have the New York Knicks going in 7 here. I understand that they lost. Okay? But it was a boneheaded decision. I know that I have been praising Tom Thibodeau. It was a boneheaded decision last night with 9 seconds left in the game to put Frank Ntilikina on Trae goddamn Young. Okay? And you know it's bad when Trae Young literally just went into the basket for a goddamn layup. Okay? I don't think Trae Young has shot a layup all goddamn season. And he sees Frank Ntilikina.
I'm sure that's not true.
No, it's true. It's true. Okay? And you know what? Frank Ntilikina, God bless you. I mean, you could beat me in a one-on-one, but what kind of accomplishment is that? Okay? What were you doing on the floor in the most crucial times, like, imaginable? Why wasn't Alfred Payton on the floor? Alfred Payton
Quickly.
why wasn't Quickly on the floor? Why wasn't, I don't know, Derrick Rose on the floor, like Frank Ntilikina. This man didn't even have a time to take his warm-up suit off. This man probably didn't take his warm-up suit off all year. He probably forgot how to. Okay, what the hell was Frank Ntilikina doing on the floor?
It's not even that he was on the floor too. It's the fact that he was guarding the person who is gonna take the shot.
Yep. See, yes. Yes. Like, what are you?
Like, if he was on Herter, I would have been like, okay.
No,
but...
I wouldn't have been like, okay, no.
At least it's not Trae Young.
Get him off of Madison Square Garden. Get him out of the league. Let him go back to France. At least he can look good in France, okay? He ain't doing shit in Madison Square Garden. He's not doing nothing in New York. Get Frank Ntilikina back to France. Eat his croissant. And, just let him be over there so he can look halfway decent. Okay?
And yet you have Knicks in 7.
Yes, I do have Knicks in 7 because hopefully Tom Thibodeau learns his goddamn lesson. But it's going to take him 7 games now because now Atlanta is going to be all like, oh, we can win this. And they're going to have to fight their ass off the Knicks to prove that they have to win and prove that they can win. I was at my wit's end with Tom Thibodeau last night. He's lucky I'm taking him right now, okay? He's lucky because I love Nate McMillan almost as much as I love Tom Thibodeau.
See, I would love to see a Game 7 in New York either way because that series was good. We're going to move on to Milwaukee and Miami here. And this was also a very tight series with Milwaukee outlasting Miami Game 1 in overtime. And I really think that might be the only competitive game here. Or not competitive, but I think that the Bucks learned their lesson from last year. It's the same thing. They got the Bucks. They just got them earlier. But Miami is still very, very, very good. So I'm gonna go Milwaukee in 6 here because I do think that Miami will take probably a game or two. But overall, I think Milwaukee's gonna make it out of here. I mean, it's possible for them to 5-game them. I think probably not sweep, but I could see this going to 6 games. I don't think it's going 7.
So I think that Milwaukee is gonna win in 7 games. I can definitely see this being a 7-game series. And you know what? One thing that I will say, last year, me and D'Lo? Me and Tom Delory? Was it D'Lo?
For what?
To pick Miami to win?
Yes, it was.
It was me. Shout out D'Lo. Listen, me and him argue about almost goddamn near everything. But for some reason, we both agreed on this one last year. And we were right. We were the only two because we're the only 2 smart people in the world.
Oh, I was wrong. I was so wrong. I thought Milwaukee was going to, beat him in 4. I thought it was going to be a sweep.
Yeah, and a lot of people did. But anyways, I think that Milwaukee definitely has learned their lesson, like you said. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy exit or an easy elimination by any means. If you know a Jimmy Butler-led team, if you know an Eric Spoelstra-led team, they're going to fight till the very goddamn end, and they're going to make sure if they lose, they're going to lose, but they're going to know they were in an absolute fight. Okay, and when Milwaukee goes into the second round, whether it be against Brooklyn or Boston, they're going to be in an absolute. They're going to be tired. They're going to be battle tested. They're going to be worn out. And I don't think they're making it out of the second round. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump right down actually to Brooklyn and Boston doing the last first round of the East. And believe it or not, I'm taking Celtics in 7. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. No.
I was about to walk out this goddamn house.
No, as much as I would love to say Celtics in 7, and as much as I loved how they played the other night, by the way, they played very, very physical.
The first time I can say I truly enjoyed watching the Celtics.
Yeah, I was working during that game too, and I would come out and I'd watch a couple of minutes because I work at a restaurant. We have it on the bar and everything. And I was just watching. I'm like, man, this is looks like a different Celtics team.
Yeah.
Everything's physical. Kemba played well. And that's what I wish this team was all year. But I think it's a little too late. I really hope that they make it competitive at least. Maybe get the Nets a little battle tested. But I think really it's going to be Nets in 5. Possibly 6, but my gut's telling me 5. I think maybe we steal a game on our home floor. Or not steal. Well, I guess it is steal a game because it's the Nets.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna get a game on our home floor. But this Nets team, I mean, they have Kyrie, Harden, KD. We know this. They're a hard basketball team to beat. So I have Nets in 5.
So I'm with you on this one. So I actually think that Brooklyn is gonna win in 5 games. I think this might be a little bit of a hot take, and I don't like saying it, but to me, it actually looks like when either Tatum or Brown is out and not playing, that means Kemba is able to be more comfortable because I don't really think he's meant to be a third guy. I think he. I mean, I'm not saying it will lead to any like championship success, but I think Kemba's best suited like ability is for like a second like banana on the team. Do you know what I'm trying to say there? Because I think like if you're the third guy, that means you're more like relegated to a spot up shooter, and that was never Kemba. He was a ball dominant player. He always had the ball in his hands in Charlotte. It was his team. It was always something that he carried on, So I think that when he actually assumes a little bit more of a role in the offense, the team actually looks better because that means Kemba's just not chucking up threes and doing whatever the hell the offense needs him to do. I think if you're the Celtics in the offseason, first of all, you may want to look into maybe trading JB. And I'm sorry, that sounds blasphemous.
No, I honestly, I kind of agree with that. My prediction for the Celtics next year is that either Kemba Walker or Jaylen Brown will not be wearing the green and white next year.
Yeah, and I would prefer to it to be Kemba, because there's no doubt within my mind that Jaylen Brown is the better player. But I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what the hell they're gonna do. But back to it. I can only see them really winning one game, if any.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would be surprised if this was a sweep. But I do want to give. We were both.
And this is Celtics pride right here too. This is Celtics pride being like, well, maybe we'll get a game.
Yeah. I think we're being a little bit nice. But after they won, like if they got blown out in game one, we'd be like, all right, clean sweep, get the brooms out, this is over. But you know what? They showed fight, they showed heart, they showed passion. Really, for the first time, all season, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you know what? And I'm willing to give him a game. I really am.
So we're going to move on to the West. We're going to, same thing, top down, which brings us to Utah and Memphis. And, man, we had a little bit of an upset last night, didn't we? Mm-hmm. We had Memphis taking game one. And I love Ja Morant, right? I really want to say that Memphis is going to win, but I don't think so. Donovan Mitchell didn't play last night.
Nope.
That was obviously a big factor. Utah did not have a lot of scoring. They had Mike Conley, I guess, was kind of taking the charge there.
Yep.
But I am still taking Utah, but I'm going to take them in 6. Because depending on Donovan Mitchell, we don't know if he's going to be back next game, or we don't know what the timeline with him is. He will be back for this series, from what we've heard so far. So I think Utah cleans this up in 6. Maybe take another game, but I think that this should be a much cleaner 6 game than I'm making it sound like.
I got Utah in 7.
Ooh,
I got Utah.
Going a little further.
I got Utah in 7. Okay, and you know what? I understand there was no D Mitch yesterday. But you have to understand, when you're a 1 seed in the most stacked conference in the NBA, even if you're missing your best player, that means the team around you is still excellent. They have a multi-time Defensive Player of the Year. Is probably going to win it again this year in Rudy Gobert. They have Bojan Bogdanovic. They have the 6th Man of the Year, 2 potential 6th Man of the Year candidates, Ingles and Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson can really give you 40 if you start him. I mean, he is an excellent, excellent scorer. Okay, that team is so well constructed that they are the 1st seed for a reason. And this is a team that has, this is a conference that had Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, AD, Dame Dolla, Luka Doncic in it, Devin Booker, and you still were the 1 seed. Okay, so the team is very, very good. And you know what? When you allow a team like Memphis, an 8 seed, a hungry, young, ascending team, I love the big 3 of Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, and Dillon Brooks. When you allow them to get steam, get momentum, they're playing with house money. They have nothing to lose. No one's going to be really disappointed if they get eliminated in the first round by Utah. But now that they've gotten that first game under their belt, they're like, yo, we can win. How good really is this Utah team? You're allowing them to be confident. You're allowing them to surge. And if Utah is not careful, Utah is not careful,
this could be a Memphis take in a series.
If Utah is not careful and they allow in game 2 that same thing to happen, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
There's a reason that the Warriors aren't in the playoffs right now.
Yes.
And we both had that not happening, but you see this team play, and they were down in the first bit of the first half there, and they play hard, they play good defense. Ja Morant is an absolute dog.
He's a stud. He's a
stud.
Superstar in the making.
I agree. So if Utah is not careful, this is the biggest red flag series that I have seen this far. Because Philly seems like that they're still going to clean up Washington, but Memphis, the way they played last night, I wouldn't be shocked if they just ended up taking this series. But I do think that if Utah does what they have to do, they bring Donovan Mitchell back, this should be a clean sweep.
I honestly, yeah. I have no idea, but
Yeah.
That'll
be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. But like I said, I have Utah in 7 because I'm not going to go off like the rail because like our 8 seed has never beaten a 1 seed.
They have once, right?
I don't.
It was
think so.
it was the We Believe Warriors in the first round, right? They beat the Dallas Mavericks.
Did they?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we'll Google it later. But
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, if I'm misinformed, then I apologize. But still. It's ridiculous. Like Utah should not have allowed this to happen because now they are letting a team with house money, like I said, to surge. They have nothing to lose. They have the entire state of Tennessee behind them, and they're dangerous. They are going to be dangerous.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on to the Clippers and the Mavericks right now. And Mavericks took game 1 in this series, and honestly, I don't see the Clippers doing much in this series. I really don't think that this Clippers team is made for the playoffs. We saw it last year, losing to Denver. However, Kawhi Leonard is Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to respect that, and I'm going to say, I'm going to say Mavericks in 5 for this game.
Get the brooms out.
Really?
Yep.
You think it's a sweep?
Dallas Mavericks are going to sweep the Los Angeles Clippers. Okay, I watched this last year when Luka Doncic hit that game winner over the Los Angeles Clippers in the playoffs. And Luka Doncic by himself, remember, Kristaps wasn't playing. So Luka Doncic by himself carried that team to 6 games over the title favorite at the time, Los Angeles Clippers. Right then and there, even though Los Angeles won, I knew they were done, okay? I knew that they were done after that series. I knew they were going to lose to Denver. Because if that is what you are, like I said, if you're a title favorite and that happens as a 6-game series against playing with house money, I hate to repeat myself, but a playing with house money team like Dallas was at the time, you're done. You're done. Like, there's no hope for you. I'm sorry. Like, don't even think about beating the Lakers. I'm talking about last year. Yeah. Okay? The Dallas Mavericks, right now, they completely outclass the Lakers. We all thought that the Clippers were going to be on the rise because they got playoff Rondo, and I love playoff Rondo, but it is so apparent, I said it from the very beginning, that Paul George was not going to be a fit because you cannot have 2 superstar wings. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's a power forward, small forward, whatever combination it is, you cannot have 2 superstar wings be a thing. You need to have either a wing and a big man, a wing or a point guard, or a big man and a point guard. Like, 2 wings does not mesh, okay? It doesn't work. It does not work.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that we were both going to have Dallas wiping them, but...
Yeah. No, and you know what? There's no one else to blame here but Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Okay?
This team just it's not a playoff team. They don't feel like a playoff team.
They don't. And
they didn't feel like it last year towards the beginning of it, and they don't feel like it now.
And you know what? Isn't it so pitiful that they're the 4th seed in the West and we're saying this?
Yeah, I know.
And this is what I mean. So go back to Kawhi Leonard real quick. He has nobody to blame but himself for this. Okay? He demanded the management of the Los Angeles Clippers, give me Paul George or I will be joining AD and LeBron. So essentially, give me what I want or I'm going to ruin the league. Okay? Yeah. What type of mentality is that? We all want to say the killer mentality, blah, 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 blah. Screw you, Kawhi. Okay, screw you. You're lucky that you had Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet carry your ass in the NBA Finals, okay?
I said even back then, I didn't think he ever should have left Toronto.
He shouldn't have.
Honestly, because there was a place that adored him, right? Yes. Toronto, and they still do. They still love Kawhi for bringing him a ring. I don't think that he should have left, and I truly do not think this Clippers team is playoff material. We saw it last year. I don't think it's going to be much better this year. Luka's playing out of his mind, and he has Porzingis now. I think this should be Mavs in 5. You say 4. I'm going to respect Kawhi Leonard a little bit. Say he might get a game.
Listen, when he first came to the Clippers, he had all these ads. He had all these commercials. Him looking in the mirror with a crown hanging from the mirror saying, I'm the new king. The king is dead. LeBron, I'm coming for you. Yeah, how'd that work out for you? And LeBron wins a ring.
We don't even get the Battle of LA.
How'd that work out for you?
Not well. All right, so we're gonna jump to the next game right here, and this is probably the boldest one. So Blazers take game 1, and I'm gonna pull a Gino. Bring out the brooms.
Really?
I think that I've loved Damian Lillard, and I'll say it again. He's the second best point guard in the league behind Steph, and right now Steph's not even in the playoffs because his team is bad. But so frankly, Damian Lillard's the best point guard in the playoffs as
Essentially.
yeah, by my standards. And he balled out game one. I really don't think there's anyone on this Denver team that can stop him. If Dame wants to make this a clean sweep and prepare for whoever Phoenix or LA, whoever wins that, so be it. I think he can do that. So I'm gonna go with Blazers in 4 here.
You don't think Reggie Jackson's the best point guard in the NBA in the best playoffs?
He was my next choice.
Oh, just missed. Just missed. But so I don't think you're going to be bringing out the brooms for this series, okay? I think you got to respect Nikola Jokic there a little bit, okay? I actually think that this is going to be a close series. I don't think it's going to be in 7, but I definitely think it's going to be in 6, okay? I think that Denver is the 3 seed, even though they don't have Jamal Murray. I mean, they lost Jamal Murray at like the halfway point of the season.
I think this would be more competitive if Jamal Murray was here. I will say.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, without a doubt. But, I mean, to me, there's still something to be said about being able to maintain a top 3 seed in the West, even if, like, your second-best player gets hurt. Okay, I think that speaks volumes to your team. I think that speaks volumes to how well you're coached. And I love Mike Malone. He's a hell of a coach. And I think that it's going to be a very competitive series. But, yes, and 6 games, I do have the Portland Trail Blazers taking this one. I mean, Dame, phenomenal. CJ McCollum, awesome. Yusuf Nurkic, a very good all-around center. Rocco, Melo, Norman Powell was a huge trade deadline acquisition. That man is a pit bull. That man is a dog. He will do whatever he got to do to win. I really like their team.
It's crazy we've agreed so much. We've only disagreed on one game, and it's probably the closest one of the series. And honestly, I think we might keep it here because we're going to jump down to the last one on the West. I'm going to go Phoenix in 6. And, like, look, you might be saying, but Will, LeBron, AD, they lost one game. If you watch that game, and I'm not saying, I think Mark Jackson said it, and I'm going to agree with him and say it too, DeAndre Ayton was the best big man on the floor in that game one.
AD had probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen him have.
Yes, and frankly, DeAndre Ayton outplayed him. And look, this may be a one-game reaction. I do think that the Lakers are going to make it competitive, and it might go to 6. But Chris Paul was balling out. He's not the MVP, but he was absolutely balling out.
Don't even let me do a snarky comment. You just cut me off right at the knees. Cut me off right at the knees.
I do love Chris Paul. I think that he is a great point guard. But yeah, Suns in 6 here. I think the Lakers are going to take a game, 2 games. Maybe it could go to 7. I'd love that. I'd love to see that. But I do think that the Suns are going to inch it out here. And I think that this is going to be they're kind of battle tested for whoever they take in the next round.
So I got Phoenix in 5. Gentlemen's sweep. Gentlemen's sweep. CMVP 3 is the reason that team is in the position that they are. I don't need to explain myself anymore with it, okay? It was shown, I mean, LeBron James is like the personification of class personified human beings, okay? Well, actually, no. I don't think that, but in the NBA like circles and everything, he's perceived to be, okay? Ask him how the first page of the Malcolm X book is going, because he seems to be always reading that whenever he's on camera, okay? Fake-ass bitch. Anyways, okay? The Phoenix Suns completely outclassed the Los Angeles Lakers yesterday, and it wasn't a matter of Phoenix being scrappy. It wasn't like a eked it out win. Like
they
won
just
by
played.
the skin
They
of their
played
teeth.
their game, and it was impressive.
They played their game. It was impressive. It was an emphatic victory. Okay, Phoenix completely and utterly outclassed the Lakers. LeBron James, you'll get 1 game out of me. Okay, I'm willing to give you 1 game, but your reign of king is over. Due in courtesy to CMVP 3, baby.
That was
CMVP
bold.
3. Dude, LeBron James, lately I have completely turned off. I used to respect him. I used to think he was the king, and I didn't per se like him, but like I said, I definitely respected him. I don't respect him an ounce anymore. Not 1 ounce. And you know what? Good. He doesn't deserve all the love he gets.
Yeah, I mean, this Lakers team, I think it's too little too late for them. They had to play in the play-in tournament, and I don't think that anyone who played in the play-in tournament is going far this year. I can't. So I'm going to have the Lakers losing in 6 here. I think maybe AD could turn it on for a game. LeBron could turn it on for a game. But overall, I think that the Suns are going to make it out of here. So we're going to jump back to the East and do the second round of the East. So I have Philly and Atlanta, but Gino has Philly and New York. but I feel like we're both going to have the same outcome here. If I have Philly and Atlanta, I have Philly in 5. I don't think that Clint Capella matches up well with Joel Embiid. And if this team keeps playing like they're playing, I think the first 2 rounds they should probably run through. This Philly team, we've talked about them before. They have way better chemistry this year. They have a way better game plan.
Thanks to Doc Rivers.
Yeah, Doc Rivers has done a great job with this
Howard.
team. Dwight Howard has taken Embiid under his wing.
He is.
No, but I do think that the Sixers are a very good team this year, and they should take this one in 5.
So I have Philly in New York, and I have Philly in 6.
Okay.
Okay, I think that New York.
Surround the Tibbs wave.
Yeah, I think that New York definitely is gonna meet their match here in this series, but not without a fight. If I know Tom Thibodeau, I don't know him personally, but
I wish I did.
Yeah, no, I do wish I did. But if I know Tom Thibodeau's coaching philosophy, which is play hard every single night, work your ass off, do what you got to do to win, then I know, like I said, he is not going down without a fight. Unfortunately, I think that the talent is just too much to overcome here. I mean, if Mitchell Robinson was there, he's a great, strictly defensive center. I mean, I definitely think he would at least give Embiid headaches, but I don't think they really have that interior force. Unfortunately, Nerlens Noel is too small. Julius Randle is more of a 4 who can play the 5, but he's too small as well for Embiid. I think that there just really won't be any stopping him. I just, unfortunately, I mean, the Knicks making it to the second round after all these years, though, is honestly a success.
The Knicks making the playoffs in general is a success.
The Knicks making the playoffs and being a top 4 seed is a success. Not like the 8th seed, the 4th seed. So, I mean, New York, you had a great run. Hopefully, more big-time free agents are attracted to you and want to come to you, because I definitely see some bright stuff in the future with what they have.
Yeah, New York's definitely in the spotlight right now. They have said that they are a market for superstars the way they've been playing. We're gonna drop down to the bottom on the East bracket here, where we both had Milwaukee versus Brooklyn. As much as I love Giannis, I think Giannis is great. No one is gonna be beating this Brooklyn Nets team in the second round. It does not matter who it is. Maybe Philly.
What if it was the 95-96 Bulls?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. But all right, Milwaukee, Brooklyn. I have Brooklyn taking the series in 6. I do think that Milwaukee's a lot better this year than they were last year, and I think that they will give the Nets a fight. But I mean, this Nets team is so talented everywhere, and it looks like they're figuring it out as a team, because Harden, KD, and Kyrie haven't really played together, but I'm a firm believer that superstars, when there's that many, will figure it out when they're there. So I have the Nets winning this one in 6.
So we both have Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Get the brooms out. Brooklyn is going to sweep Milwaukee. Okay? I mean, at this point, like I said, Milwaukee is just going to be absolutely exhausted after going through the ringer. And when you're exhausted, think about going through a very hard-fought basketball game. You're tired. You just want to go home. And then you see KD. And then you see Kyrie, and then you see the cherry on top, James Harden. What are you gonna say? Oh my God,
it's over.
Please just put me out of my misery. And you know what? That's gonna be the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis can't do it all on his own. I mean, he's gonna have a field day, I will say, being able to dunk, on whatever the hell he wants. Because I love DeAndre Jordan, but he's just an old geezer at this point. He won't be able to get the job done. So I mean, clap. A for effort, MVP. Giannis. Yeah, really did good there, buddy.
All right, we're going to move back to the West in the second round. So we both have Utah and Dallas. And I'm a little shocked about what you're going to do here. I don't know what you're going with. So we will see. But I have Dallas in 6. I think this is where
really?
Utah...
Over Utah?
Yeah, this is where I think Utah's run ends. I wouldn't say that Utah is a fake 1 seed, but I think that there's so many better teams out here in the West. I think Dallas, the way that they've played so far, I think Dallas could easily take this one. I mean, with the way that Luke has been playing, I think Porzingis will match up well with Gobert, and I'm excited to see this if this does happen, which hopefully Utah doesn't blow it in the first round.
Well, first of all, if Kristaps gets breathed on, he's out for the year. So,
not this year.
Yeah. No, Jesus Christ. Well, but anyway, so I actually have Utah in 6. I have Utah in 6 here, okay? Because we all were talking about like you're gonna be like, oh, how can you say that after they beat the team like the Clippers? They sweep the team like the Clippers, actually. But look at it. Yes, they have Kawhi. Yes, they have Ibaka. Yes, they have Paul George. But like I said, like that team doesn't play like a team. They're just a bunch of individuals who just wear the same colored jersey. Okay, like that's not what the Utah Jazz is. The Utah Jazz are a team. They play like it. Donovan Mitchell should be healthy by that point, and he should have his legs under him to play elite basketball because he is an elite shooting guard in this league. Okay, he is going to be very underrated, I think, when it's all said and done, if he doesn't like have any final success. But anyways, I think that the Utah Jazz definitely here are going to make their presence known. They're going to be like, all right, that Memphis series, that's not us. Those guys give us a run for our money. It's time for us now to prove ourselves, to prove we are not the pushover, and prove why we are the number one seed in the most stacked conference in the NBA. It is time. Let's go. We're going to the conference finals.
So little parody we got going on here. Gino has the Jazz. I have the Mavericks. We're gonna jump down to.
Will, you're wrong.
You're wrong. You had Portland too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we both have Portland and Phoenix, and honestly, I think that this this Suns team is just better than any team that they're gonna see in the second round. So I have the Suns winning in 5 here. I think Dame will be able to take over maybe versus this Denver team. I don't think he'll be able to do it versus Phoenix. Maybe he'll get a game, but this Phoenix team is very talented. I love Devin Booker. I love Chris Paul. I love DeAndre Ayton, so I have him winning in 5 here. Don't do it, please, Gino.
I have Portland in 7.
No!
I have Portland in 7.
Those are your boys!
I have Portland in 7.
Oh, my God.
Dude, listen, at the end of the day, man, like, Damian Lillard is the most clutch player in the NBA.
You think that just Dame is going to be able to beat the Suns?
It's not going to be just Dame, dude. I'm telling you, like, Yusuf Nurkic, if he can stay healthy, he is one of the most well-rounded people. Whatever DeAndre Ayton does, Yusuf Nurkic will have the tools equipped. Like, he has the tools in his arsenal to be able to not neutralize him, but at least, like, put up a fight against him. Okay, let's go position by position. Who are you taking? Are you taking Dame or are you taking CMVP 3?
Well, all right.
In terms of pure talent, not value.
In terms of talent, I think Dame is better than CP3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Dame and then shooting guard.
But with this team?
Devin Booker and CJ McCollum. Devin Booker.
Yeah, Booker.
Okay, small forward. It's what? Mikal Bridges or Robert Covington. Who are you taking?
Mikal Bridges.
I'm taking Robert Covington.
I don't know. Rocco can be pretty inefficient, man.
But I mean, he's one of the best 3-and-D players.
You're going player by player, but I think that as a team, and especially I think they're going to be battle tested from the Lakers. I think that this team is they're better. They're a better team than Portland. Maybe Portland, like if you line all the players up, you could argue this guy over that guy, this guy over that guy. But when the real argument is, okay, well, you have Devin Booker, you got Chris Paul, and you have DeAndre Ayton. You have 3 really, really good pieces, and you throw in a couple of deep role players like this Phoenix team has, and you have yourself a championship contender. So I have them going to the conference finals, but Portland in 7, I don't know about that one, Gino.
Okay, so hold on. Well, if you don't want to do a player by player, okay, let's do it like this. Who has more playoff experience? The Phoenix Suns or the Portland Trailblazers?
Portland by like a little.
No, dude. They have
by a little.
No.
The only one with real playoff experience is like, okay, maybe Robert Covington when he was chilling on like the Sixers, and now I guess, and then Dame who's been here for a minute.
No, CJ McCollum too. He's been there. CJ McCollum's been there, okay?
Yeah, but they've been like first round exits.
Yusuf Nurkic, no, dude, they made it
first
to the
and
Eastern
second
Conference.
round.
I'm sorry, they made it to the Western Conference Finals a few years ago.
I don't know, man.
They made it to the Western Conference Finals. Like, they've made it to second rounds. I mean, sometimes they lose in the first, but they're definitely not pushovers.
Hey, the Suns proved yesterday that their playoff experience isn't hurting them yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think it will. I think Devin Booker is ready for this. I think DeAndre Ayton stepped up to the challenge last night, played good, and Chris Paul, I mean, talk about playoff experience when you talk about Chris Paul.
No, I'll give you Chris Paul, but you got to think about it like this. Like, this is going to be the most basketball that Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, that Torrey Craig, that Dario Saric, guys like this have ever played. I mean, maybe with the exception of Dario Saric, because he was on the Philly team.
Yeah.
But so literally, you're gonna have two guys. One of them who should be the MVP, and then second who was a solid at best role player on a team that was eliminated in the second round of the playoffs a few years ago. That's really the extent of your playoff experience. Okay, Dame is battle-tested. McCollum is battle-tested. Norman Powell, he's won a championship. He knows what it takes to be there. And he wasn't a starter, but he was like a sixth man, and he contributed very well. Okay, Norman Powell's been there. Yusuf Nurkic has been there. All these guys, Rocco, he's been on multiple teams that maybe have not won, but have been to the Eastern Conference or Western Conference Finals, because he was with Houston for a little bit. He was in Philly for a little bit. He knows what it takes.
I can't believe Gino did not take his Phoenix Suns.
Hey, if I'm nothing, it's because I'm honest, and I'm trying to be unbiased.
That is fair.
You got enough out of me taking one game from out of Brooklyn to Boston.
That is true. All right, so we're gonna jump to the conference finals. We'll start in the East. We both have actually the Brooklyn Nets versus the Philadelphia 76ers, and I know what Gino's gonna say because he said it on this podcast before, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to disagree, and I have the Brooklyn Nets going to the finals and beating the Philadelphia 76ers in 6. We'll say 6 games. I would love for it to go 7 because I think this series is going to be a lot more competitive than Gino thinks it's going to be, but I have the Nets making the NBA Finals.
Is there a little bit of dust on this floor?
Why, Gino?
I think could really use a broom and
sweep!
Okay? The Philadelphia 76ers are going to sweep the Brooklyn Nets. Okay? We don't have a camera right now, but Will is pulling up his glasses. His hands are in his eyes. This man's face is red as a lobster. He's geeking out right now.
Oh my god. Okay. You think a team with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden are not going to win a game?
Nope.
Oh my god, that is absurd.
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up Kevin Durant.
Matisse Thybulle! For your first argument is Matisse Thybulle. Oh no, sorry, keep going.
First of all, Ben Simmons will lock up Kyrie Irving. Okay? The size is there. Matisse Thybulle can play 2, 3, and 4. He will lock up Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant will average about 10 points a game this series.
Oh my god! You can't be serious right now. There's no way. There's no. Oh.
James Harden will be the only player that plays well in this series. Okay.
Of course.
James Harden will be. That's actually funny. That's actually funny.
Of course, James Harden's the only one who will play well.
I didn't think of that. But he's going to be the only one that plays well, and it is not going to be enough. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are going to have philosophical disagreements with whatever they happen to disagree with in that series. They're going to be distracted. They're going to argue with Steve Nash. Steve Nash has been subjected to cruel and unusual punishment coaching Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Okay? They should be arrested for putting Steve Nash through this emotional distress. Okay? They're going to be swept, and Philly is going to the NBA Finals.
Let's just move on to the West, man.
No, you don't have another spot?
No, see, I could respect if you were if Philly is going to grind it out, play tough, and beat them in 6 or 7, but they're not even going to win a game.
Brooklyn's not going to win one goddamn game.
I don't know. Let's move on to the West.
Matisse
Thybulle. So in the West, we actually have different. Do we have 2 different teams? We do, right?
Portland and Utah.
I have the Mavs and the Suns. So we both have something different here. So I have Dallas versus Phoenix. I think that, and this is the perfect story for it too, I think Phoenix is going to make the NBA Finals. I really do love this Phoenix team. I think they'll clutch it out versus the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks are going to go on a little bit of a Cinderella run, make it to the conference finals. And I think, Dallas is, in the next couple of years, I think going to be very, very good. I have Phoenix winning here in 5 or 6, more likely 6, but I do love this Phoenix Suns team. And my NBA Finals, if you've paid attention so far, is Brooklyn versus Phoenix, Steve Nash on the Nets versus his old team, the Phoenix Suns. And I think that's a good story to run with if you're the NBA.
So, I mean, yes, that is a good story. And you know what? I will admit that would be something I'd be interested in seeing. Okay, like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm totally disinterested and screw that matchup. Okay?
It's an awful finals.
No. I love Steve Nash. He's my favorite player of all time. For those of you who don't know, there's another guy though who played for the Jazz. His name is Pistol Pete Maravich. He happens to be my second favorite player of all time. And you know what? The Utah Jazz are gonna go to the NBA Finals in 6. Okay.
Versus Portland.
Versus the Portland Trailblazers. Okay. I think that Donovan Mitchell is finally going to have his moment in the sun. Rudy Gobert is finally going to have his moment in the sun. Okay. I really think, and you know what? It is kind of boring, and it is kind of like not fun for me to just pick the both of the 1 seeds here.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, and I realize.
Hey, if you think they're gonna, the 1 seeds are kind of wild this year. So.
Yeah. And you might say that's a little lazy. That's like a little. You're not doing a lot of like crazy thinking there. But I really see it. I mean, hopefully you've been able to see. I've created some very fun scenarios that make it so both the 1 seeds go.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, Damian Lillard making it to the conference finals again. I mean, I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup. It's going to be D-Mitch versus Dame. That's money. That's something that, please, take my money. You know, take my money all day long. But I think, once again, the Utah Jazz are going to get the better of him here. And hell of a run for the Trailblazers. I love Dame Dollar, but I don't see them making the finals.
Yeah, so we got totally different NBA finals. I mean, like, we have the same, nothing really outlandish. I mean, besides, maybe the sweep is probably the most outlandish thing, but overall.
Oh, what sweep? Dallas and LA? I don't know what other sweep. I don't know what other sweep you could be talking about.
So our NBA finals is very, very different. I didn't even know your finals were gonna be like that. But so my finals, I talked about it a little bit ago. Phoenix versus Brooklyn, Steve Nash versus his old team, and it's going to be so very sad for Steve Nash to strip a title from his former team that he won 2 MVPs with. I have the Brooklyn Nets winning in 6. I think Phoenix is going to put up a fight, but I mean, this is the Brooklyn Nets, man. This team is unmatched. No one is going to match up with this team, and we like to say, oh yeah, they're Matisse Thybulle. We like to say, like, oh yeah, they can be divas, and they can. I agree, but so far they've put it together, and when you have a team with this much talent, with a head coach like Steve Nash, who I think has been a pretty good coach in his first year, he might have a lot of talent around him, but I trust Steve Nash as a player, and I think he is a good coach. So
what will be determined by Steve Nash being a good coach is when I'd say at least 2 of these players leave, like KD, Kyrie, or Harden.
Or if he can just keep up this pace and keep everyone together, I'm like, that's a good coach when you can keep the locker room with a bunch of personalities together. He's done that so far. There hasn't really been any real outlashes between the players, and I think that they're going to put it together in the playoffs, and I think that the Brooklyn Nets will be your 2021 NBA champion. KD will finally have more competition to LeBron, and the Lakers are going to have a hell of an offseason if this team stays together.
So we're completely different on this.
Yeah, we are.
And
it's totally
I have,
different.
like I said, the 1 seeds. I have the Utah Jazz, and I have the Philadelphia 76ers. And I'm thinking about this. This is going to be probably one of the closest matchups in the history of the NBA in terms of NBA Finals. I have the Utah Jazz winning in 7.
Wow.
I have the Utah Jazz winning in 7.
After all that with Brooklyn, the Jazz are going to edge out the Sixers?
Yes, I do.
Oh, man.
And you know what? I don't like saying it. I really don't. I think it's going to be very close.
How much help does Matisse Thybulle need?
Matisse Thybulle is going to tear his ACL in Game 1. No, but seriously.
And they have no shot after that.
No, but unfortunately what's going to end up happening is Matisse Thybulle is going to guard one of the people that unfortunately won't make that big of an impact. And if he doesn't make a big of an impact anyways, then, you know what, that just allows D-Mitch and Gobert to shine. I mean, I think it's going to be so intriguing to watch Embiid and Gobert. I mean, that's going to be a big man matchup in the NBA Finals that we really care about for the first time in how long now? You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be crazy. I think that D-Mitch and Ben Simmons, it's going to be crazy watching D-Mitch able to try to overcome Ben Simmons, which eventually in Game 7 he will. But let me tell you something. The Philadelphia 76ers are very young. They're going to be back with a vengeance, okay? I don't think Jordan Clark, and I think Jordan Clarkson is going to play a huge factor in this series. I think that he'll actually win the Finals MVP, Jordan Clarkson.
What?
Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, man. See, Gino said a lot of crazy things this podcast, but he's been consistent.
Listen, if Iguodala can do it on a team like that Warriors, then yes, Jordan Clarkson can do it.
I'm actually really. I was thinking for a while that we were gonna have the same NBA Finals, but those were wicked different.
No, dude. And you know what? I'm really trying to create like this story in my head. Yeah. And I think I got it.
The Jordan Clarkson is gonna come in. The man who you said could give you 40 is going to
win the Finals MVP.
Okay, so before we get into our hot take for the week, as we're sitting here, some news just happened. Julio Jones, and this is a Schefter tweet. Falcons have officially asked for inquiries about Julio Jones, which means that he's officially on the trade block. So that is cool. And also, as we're sitting here, our beloved Maine Red Claws just became the Maine Celtics. So that's some cool news.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's cool.
That's something. I'm just waiting until like someone crazy gets traded on the podcast, and halfway through, I'm like, oh my god, hold on a minute. Oh yeah, so we're gonna continue to do the hot take of the week. And this one, I guess I'll kick it off because I mean Gino's given up hot takes today, but my hot take is that Jaylen Brown will not be on the Celtics next year, and he will be out west. That is my prediction.
Do you know what team or what team you're thinking about? Or no?
I don't know. I don't feel like they're gonna trade him to the West. I don't know why. I don't have a reason.
Well,
but that's how hot takes work, right? I don't know how. I don't know why, but I just feel that Jaylen Brown will be somewhere out west next season, not on the Celtics.
Okay, so I mean that's cool. I mean we definitely did bring that up earlier too.
Yeah,
so I mean that's something cool. Mine is I think within the next 2 to 3 years, the San Antonio Spurs will be competing for NBA championships again. I think that Keldon Johnson is a hell of a young player.
Calvin Johnson. I made that joke last night.
I know you did last night. Yeah, Megatron's going to the Spurs. No, but DeJounte Murray, I think, is an excellent point guard who had his development hindered a bit because of his torn ACL, but he's coming back. Derek White is a really good sharpshooter. He'll continue to develop. Devin Vassell, he is a very good NBA-ready defender now. And I think when his offense develops, he'll just continue to be a great player. And I definitely do think that Jakob Poeltl actually does have some room to grow too. I don't think he'll be nothing special, but right now he's very young and he averages about 8 and 8. I think that could honestly go up to about 12 and 10, and that's seriously just a good solid starting center in the league. And I think Greg Pop will have completed his rebuild, and he might not win another ring, but he'll definitely be competing for them, and they'll definitely be in the conversation soon.
I would love for the Spurs to be good again. And yeah, that was pretty good hot takes. And that's gonna do it for this episode 7 of Conti and Nick. I say it every time. Siete. I'll say it again. I can't believe we've done 7 episodes of this. It just feels crazy that we're a couple away from being 10 episodes. And
next week will be 2 months.
Oh, it will, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow us on all the social media. Instagram, Twitter.
No.
Yeah, I just looked at Gino Twitter. Gino hates Twitter. We mentioned that. But yeah, make sure to follow us on social media. If you're watching on Spotify, thank you. And if you're watching on YouTube, I know that episodes have been cutting off short, and I don't know why. It's something with the way that YouTube is processing them. And Gino mentioned it to me earlier today. I had no idea. So we'll try and figure that out. But if you're looking for the full episodes, they're on our Anchor. They're on Spotify. You can find them different places. So apologies for that, but we'll try and we'll clear that up. And yeah.
Yeah, so have a good day, everybody. And remember, John Bro.
John Bro. Peace.